It is time, ladies and gentlemen. All right, talk to me about the drops quickly here before we get into things. First map on Erangel.
All right, we got a pretty decent plane here coming in from southwest, going up to the northeast. This means that most of the teams will be able to reach where they want to go. But we have some teams that will be dropping in over by Georgia Ball.
All right,
they're going to need to find some vehicles
number two.
They're
Game
not
number one
going to be
set
reaching
stage
all the way over there.
Here for the PUBG Europe League. And what a stage it's set. Let's move on to Erangel.
They're going to be fighting it out to begin with.
Where this plane is going and where that's circle. All right, it is time. Game number two. Game number one set the stage here for the PUBG Europe League. And what a stage it's set. Let's move on to Erangel once again to find out where this plane is going and where that circle is a-popping.
All right, this time we got a different plane. We got from northwest. So it's the opposite of the first plane, which means that we're going to see a little bit of shake-up on the drops here, but at the same time going through Pochinki. We're going to probably see two teams fighting there, and maybe some teams going down to Military Island, maybe.
Absolutely. I doubt we're going to see more than just one team. It looks like FAZE is actually dropping out quite early here. They might just fly all the way, or even put one guy in Novo here. It could be worth it with the plane being so close to it. And it looks like we're not going to see Team Liquid in Pochinki so far, looks, but I'm quite sure they're going to be able to break it down even further once the casters go to it. Decent plane here. Very much for the guys that's going to loot to the northwest. Razor Edge is going to be able to loot North George.
Yeah.
We're going to see Nip in South George and Red Diamonds south of South George.
Fighting going on already
they are
between
fighting.
NAVI and Team Liquid. Let's head over to the commentary team here for all the action as fast as possible.
This is, yeah, we're actually talking as the casters do come into play here. We were just watching that one and trying to see how it unfolds, but they've lost two players sheet away now.
No, it was a 1-for-1. It was a 1-for-1.
Sorry, we've lost two players straight
down
away.
and James down.
And James hit the shotgun.
And you just saw, I think it was Samti or Gemti there that absolutely had nothing. Also, look to the north. Look at this circle. Ensa and M19 going at it. You can see they're close to one another, trying to get away from each other. Obviously, Stauber is where Ensa trying to get to at the moment, but M19 right on top of them. We're also going to get a bit of a new storyline developing, which we wanted to talk about. He just flipped a car with a bike. Are you kidding me?
He's got a gun on his back, so he might actually be able to, if he gets off here and whiffs him in the face.
Is it a Vector? It's a Vector. Yeah.
It's a little VSS.
A VSS, a Vector. Yeah,
silently kill him.
Silently spit the bullets. But anyway, obviously we have this engagement again. And now I just talked to Team Liquid in the break. And they're like, yeah, we forced them out. So what they actually did, and you can see it now, if you look at the map now, in the changed. So NAVI, ordinarily, when we were talking going to east-west, normally if two teams drop, it go east-west. But what Team Liquid did in the last game is they switched it up from scrims, and they caught NAVI off guard. Well, this time, NAVI are not getting caught off guard. They're not getting caught napping. You can see they've gone onto the west side, Team Liquid on the east side. Ibi kind of surrounded here. Samti's off looting over on the side there. Gemti's looting, and Ibi is the one that's kept very much to himself. Red Diamonds and NIP, they're kind of sharing South Georgia at the moment. Looks like Red Diamonds at the moment are keeping it clean, sticking around the hospital and further south. We did hear in scrims they were kind of sneaking into back six and front six territory. We'll see whether that develops as the league runs through.
I mean, they don't really have to, because then you'll come to this point where you will be, you know, they run the risks of losing a player here and there early on. You might be able to force back and lose time while you're wanting to gather that gear, get the chests, get the helmets, get the guns. More importantly, get the scopes as well, because those guns need a lot of attachments, and there's a lot to be said for decent looting. There's all right, you know, just having your normal loot. You will have planned loot routes that you do, and this is one of the issues that we'll see for NAVI and Liquid, is that their looting time is completely shot at the moment. It's all up in the air, so when they come out of these engagements, it's all right having I've got a couple of kills here and there, but Ibi has sat put for the entire time. I know if he's got a helmet, he has literally not been able to do anything else. The rest of the team, it just hurts your economy so much on both sides. Honestly, it doesn't do them any good. Okay, it's all right, try to stand the, you know, who's got the balls and who's to be the one that comes, yeah, we won Pochinki, but honestly, coming out of this afterwards, both economies are going to be so smashed to bits, you're not really going to be able to do much in the late game.
And I think we saw it a lot from when, obviously, NAVI and Liquid clashed on the hillside of the prison. They were both low on meds. They didn't really have a great deal of meds. NAVI certainly, because they had that one big engagement with Liquid and then just saw we're going to die in blue because we're not going to face Vitality. We don't have the zone fairly early on. I think it may even kept points. I'm not too sure. When maybe snuck a point in there, maybe at best. Crow Crowd, we saw them early on there. They didn't have Ensign nearby, but they've kind of sat comfortable at the moment. Being as it is, you know, these teams that we've been focusing on, obviously Liquid and NAVI, teams are already rotating. We're at 5 minutes looking to get the final and get out. You go apartment school, playing path perfect for them. They're already on the move. They're looking to center up, and it looks like maybe Crossroads are they going to go for here? I'm trying to think of really the best central point for this circle. Shooting range is kind of in there. I think there are a couple of compounds around that area that Crow Crowd are kind of covering at the moment. Will be their spots. Decent crate drumming down there. Crate. Who's going to be able to get that one? Possibly Digital Athletics. If they go south, I probably more think maybe G2 on a rotate will probably find that more likely. Rotations, speaking of them, you can see NIP on the move. Also on the eastern side, Pittsburgh Knights and FaZe Clan kind of running parallel with one another along the far eastern edge of the map.
I'm intrigued to see how FaZe actually do in terms of gear. Obviously,
interesting.
They'll have been the last ones to actually hit their spot all the way over at Milter Power, and now they'll completely run the coastal road.
The Joker's scouting Pachinki there. They're kind of they're trading on the top of that hill, but they're definitely scouting Pachinki.
I mean, it depends if they want to play. They can do. Look at that circle with the top end lead, with the northern edge just been in the water. They kind of know that it should, in theory, come down south. So they might not want to go too far and overextend into enemy territory too deep. Also, we don't really know what gear they've got, where they're going. It might just be not necessarily a scout, but certainly a look ahead to see what's possible and what can come out. The thing for FaZe is they will know that Stalbert area tends to be where ENCE likes to hang around. They know it's their loot location. They also need to be aware that when we look towards the Pittsburgh Knights that love the mansion, Lepovka, and surrounding kind of split area that's generally their terrain, they'll be working the way more than likely up north. These teams, they do like the northerly kind of migration, if you will. I'm interested to see where FaZe actually comes in and what they can kind of make off the back of this. Saverni's open, but again, you would assume that this circle goes down south. Hell, it's PUBG, anything can happen. I'm seeing a couple of bullet traces still from NAVI and this Team Liquid engagement. There was a bit of a, not necessarily a back down, but certainly a pause for both teams to be able to go and get themselves back together. Kane can't drive, unfortunately. I'd like to ask Martin which player's on the screen next to him now and is actually driving. He'll probably be getting that meme in the background anyway. Brexico further afield. NIP are going to head up north as well. They're almost directly in the centre, but you've got this really with this circle. Not necessarily a full yin and yang effect, but the Georgia Paul River that runs parallel all the way down to the Yasnaya Pond. It's a bit of a split difference because you've got to pick a side, and you know you've got a 50-50 chance of it going your way, I suppose, if you want to say this, and then the rotations become a lot harder. Whichever side of this river you pick, if the circle goes the opposing way, you're then lacking on the compound front, and you then got to run the dungeon gauntlet to be the first to kind of bootleg it into one of those compounds and hope to Christ that nobody's actually set up ahead of the game.
Yeah, and it's the reason that obviously most of them do opt for going the northern route. Yeah, wanted, you're not going to get past that many guns pointed at your vehicle. So raise your edge, losing a man early on. But yeah, it's the reason that most people do tend to opt for this. This is, of course, towards the North Georgia Paul area where raise your edge start out. Caught out by Red Diamonds. They are on the south sort of side, so always going to be relatively close to one another. But we are seeing, by the way, Team Liquid slowly leaving Pachinki. Does not look like they have a vehicle to me. They are both all on foot. Samti's actually split away from his two teammates as well. G2 passing by on the western side, eastern side of Pachinki. Actually almost leapfrog Team Liquid and causing them a problem. There's the circle shift. That's the wanted, and it's a big old shift, but it goes to a relatively well-known area. We've all seen circles finishing in this territory. It's been a pretty common circle, and already you can see the teams getting to their favorite location.
Can I see who gets the foothold on this one? I was going to suggest something about the location of Samti, whether he was going purposely to the backside of that church area to see if he could cop for NAVI. Now the call will come through. The rest of Team Liquid are allowed to lay down the fire here. He'll be back with the SLR, see if he can at least get some sort of knockout of them. Tires have gone. That vehicle should still be drivable. It might have just lost one on the back foot. All three players in there. Bit of damage here there and everywhere. Pokemon are down to about 25%. They will pull up just to get the health back. The vehicle will certainly be a bit more damaged. Red Diamond still playing a great little game here and just catching people on rotation. That's the second one, maybe even potentially third that they've picked up. Just waiting along the crossroads, waiting for more people. And we kind of, oh, wait, yep, D-Mash is down, so that will be 2 or 3 they've actually picked up. Make that 3 if he does go down also.
Oh, look at the north. It's getting a little crowded there as well. Aduzi does finish it off D-Mash, so Joker's 2 down, but everybody trying to find their favorite compound. It's starting to get a bit busy. Michael, the man that got 8 frags in the first round. Incredible, incredible score for the Geordie, but he is now being bombarded. Rustam, what just happened there, son? Just happened there. You shot yourself somehow. Iro will finish Michael off, and he's going to go down. The first TSM man down. They're kind of pinned in towards it. And you can see in the distance, Vitality also trying to flank her around, but they're trying to get themselves a better position. Maybe pushing on the backside. Is somebody outside? Maybe they are. Wookie Bookie has to... and quickly gets himself back inside.
I mean, taking a shot like that for Vitality, maybe had more information than I could see. That car's still rolling. That's from TSM uphill, so please don't get scoomed and get run over by a wild vehicle in the middle of nowhere.
Are we dubbing it the Scoom now?
Getting scoomed.
That's a little harsh.
I mean, you can't let him live it down, right? It was the most weirdest and wonderful thing I've seen in a long time, but you hate to see it, you love to see it, one of those scenarios. Yeah, when we're looking towards where Vitality are actually laying down fire onto TSM there, TSM got a compound, Vitality don't. They're out in the open. You're going to be ringing the alarm bell, letting everyone know where they are. The fact that Digital Atletico are actually not kind of sitting on this one and just diving into a compound, I kind of like it. They're spreading out a little bit to get a bit more information. In terms of Vitality, whether or not they do now evacuate to a different position, that's a different question altogether. FAZE, they've done what we've seen them do time and time again, take that coastal road on the right and then work their way in up north. They've also extended themselves. They're not sitting on the back, they are going further afield. You've got Mexi kind of searching for a little bit of more information to feed that back to the team. You can see Jokers are already down to 2, TSM losing their main top fragger from the previous round, who, just to kind of touch on that one as well, I know we were giving Michael a lot of the praise for the picks and the kills that he was getting, but the damage, it was coming from Gustav. The man had 730 top damage dealer. He was absolutely peppering teams left, right, and center. And when you have a player like that who can put down so much damage, and then you have a team that is happy, just listens to your communication, listens to where you're directing the fire, then they can happily mop up. It's so, so good to see. And when you've got that level of damage on the team, it kind of shows what they did. Almost, my OCD kind of loves that circle, dead center.
You know what? We were talking about it right from the start. Look to the south EU map. Everybody is on foot. NAVI, Team Liquid, no vehicles. They are running it on the edge as well. Somebody's just got inside the circle and he's going again. You've all had that game in real life, in your pugs, and maybe even you're playing in public games where the circle's just been on your back the whole time. You just feel like you're playing Running Man Simulator. And that seems to be what they're doing. They've got no vehicles, and now really they can't use the vehicles. So they're in a real tricky situation here, Team Liquid. And it's, we're going to keep on going on about this. How long do you keep on fighting for one spot when there's so much territory available?
The question is do NAVI sit now on the bridge and just be buggers and just hold them back? Windstrike Gaming, unfortunately, getting shot into a billion pieces in oblivion. 2 players fall perpendicular just like that. Elite player does get answered back though. Nuki just gets himself inside the little
circle pops.
They will
here
lose one in
for
this
the PUBG Pro League.
If Jaworski Boy can get himself in there, which he should, close the door. They can stay alive just for now. Does take out Elite player and finish him off, unfortunately. Mikas sees Kate rolling down the hill. Easy knock for him. Whether or not he can confirm this one, it doesn't matter. Squeaky.
It's time,
ladies and gentlemen. All right, talk to me about the drops quickly here before we get into things. First map on Erangel.
All right, we got a pretty decent plane here coming in from the southwest, going up to the northeast. This means that most of the teams will be able to reach where they want to go, but we have some teams
just on the edge of the west side of the circle, so they're outside of the zone at the moment. Both these having to fight for it. Best of luck. What a beast he was at GLL, the highest damage dealer by far. Monster performance. Didn't quite hit that same level at Minsk, though, but Red Diamonds find themselves here, and he's trying to pressure down the hill. Both of these kind of keeping themselves out the zone. You can see the blue on the mini-map there pushing on their backs and forcing them to give up the fight, really, and continue moving down the hillside. NIP are going to be watching this one play out as they all come down the hill towards them.
Well, watch this one. Feel free to, as soon as the fight kicks off, Lee, pick it up from me and guide us through it. But when we talk about Red Diamonds a bit more, and you were talking about the stat, they have been extending into Georgia Paul just a little bit. I honestly think they should look at it from a different angle. They've got a great amount of time to look down that, you know, the western coast, kind of the Tempo Storm area, so to speak. There's so much open ground for them that if they get a really decent circle, I can see these guys playing off the back of that, doing so well. Oh, that wasn't the same player, but that was actually someone else. He was looking at one, going for it. And
it's some sweet irony because Digital Athletics were firing at Team Liquid, and NAVI saved Team Liquid there. That's some sweet irony. And Recurrent, the man that obviously got took out straight away in the first game. But yeah, that was a hell of a shot.
Ira again, unfortunately. Has to be the man doing the red and taking out, and he's a really good fragger for that roster as well.
Oh, you hate to see it. That's a real kicker for Team Liquid. Talking about Gemty Samty, the brothers continuing to try and make the move. They've got a long run ahead of them, and now everybody tries to move north. They think of, obviously, FaZe Clan. They took a big rotate and a big gamble, and it's kind of cost them. Pittsburgh Knights, who stayed where they were, have got themselves a beautiful compound right now, along with Ents. Mika's kind of separated from his team, but Thriffly and Squeaky are in a really strong compound at the moment. They're being pressured as Raise Your Edge try and crash in on towards G2. As G2, well, they're kind of within grenade range. Well, I was talking about Mikas being on his own, separated, but he's getting kills.
Look at the steal instantly. Mikas went for it, and it just, before he even had a chance to solidify it, NIP player comes in and just seals the deal with one bullet. That's 1 point going their way. And this is why it's so important. The fact that it's 1 point per kill and we're so limited points. Every single kill needs to count. You need to confirm it straight away. Or just like that, someone will rock in, steal it. I'm seeing Gustav taking a lot of damage. Wookie Bucky's gone down in the back as well. This is a transition for TSM.
Oh, Sixmo is going to drive over fast rail. No, he's going to blast on through. They're going to pick off. TSM eliminated in 16th place. 31 points in game one. A big fat 0 in game number 2. Digital Athletics going sliding in. The beautiful death comes around, and Mikas is going to be the target. But look at how much third party is going on. It is a battle in Star Wars right now on the screens as they all come blasting through. Mikas will go down. Iro should be able to get Sixmo back on his feet. How they blasted in there. This is absolute carnage at the moment. Team Liquid trying to do the same, sending 3 in a vehicle as Gemty and Ibiza go down. Samty, the last man standing for them as he's continuing north. I don't really know where he's going to stop. He's getting lit up as well. Jazza gets in there. Samty, will he be saved?
Oh,
just about.
Word. With a slither of health. At the start of the game, this is exactly what he had, and he's still in the same, just holding on Liquid's life. But I've got to say, talk about it again in a second, because FaZe are pushing on this one. M19, they've got a crowd knocking at the door outside. Welcome. Wagons here.
Gets 80 down, and that's going to stall them out. You can see Vitality looking to take in shots. Meanwhile, just also to the west of this, there's a 3-team clash. So we'll try and keep all that in the picture-in-pitch. You can see Crowcrab Diamonds with Navi in the background as FaZe pressure M19 on your main screen right now. Get 80 back on the feet. Nades rolling both on both sides. Keep your eye on the action. He's just got himself back on his feet. He's down again. Next he sees Constantine. The support arrives as Ehot's being saved out. Constantine getting tagged up. Meanwhile, in the bottom of your screen, Recurrent gets himself a couple of kills. The third party in working well as Red Diamonds. Pressure on towards Crowcrowd. Dream for you and a doozy. A doozy goes down and Red Diamonds eliminated in 15th. Oh, that nade.
Are going in. We'll see how much damage it actually does. Constantine, he is locked back.
It's
in, so they can get 2 in there. The fires flood through the house. This will do so much damage. Crowcrowd's eliminated. 14th place now. B strike them in the back. Iro, kill feed. Chris goes down with a grenade. Samty, you can see him still just praying. Same goes for Wanderer as well. Both of these teams literally holding on by a mere shack. Uber finishes it off for M19, but again, they do have this emergency backup just hiding away.
Here we go. Circle's about to shrink, and Navi are already on the move. The question is, will Vitality put the damage down on them? Batalin's had to bail from his vehicle. Pokamolado already going, but where can you go? There's a couple of shacks you can see. Look at Ward's Pittsburgh Knights. A few shacks, little white dots on your map there is where they're aiming to get, but they've had to pull up, and NIB are smashing them in the backs.
All comes down to Molodoi, whether or not he can land a pick with that K9. If he can do some damage or at least just remove VAD from the window, then he'll be able to easily get the res. But they are not laying up. That vehicle should blow up any second. The tires have gone. It's smoking. That explosion shouldn't actually kill them. They are far enough away. Whether or not NBS just pulls up and finishes them, you know what? They want it. They want the points. Look at this. Grenades are up and over. They're pushing on this one. I like the play.
More movement. Vitality blasting through as well. Look at them in the distance. Nasus runs over Raise Your Edge fast rail. And that is Raise Your Edge out in 13th place. They come speeding on in there. They managed to get around. Now G2 have got battling right next to him. That's going to be Brexico picking himself up an easy kill. That's going to give his position away as NIP continuing to try and squeeze through. Navi in all sorts of trouble. The Jokers head for the ditch on the east side. There's FaZe Clan. Yeah, he's surrounded.
You've got to be so scared. You can close the door all you want, my friend, but FaZe is here. Knock, knock, knock. Wake the hell up, boy. Grenades are in. They're coming in thick and fast. Because FaZe, they want to clear this one out. They need to move forward. This is not inside the circle. The death squad is here.
Oh, at the same time, Wanderer found Jorski. Exact same time. And Windstrike go down in.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That's down to the zone. He might have just given himself up. Molodoi though. Pre-smoke's all there. They'll build a wall. Try and run this one parallel to NIP. They do have 4 guys alive. I'm seeing level 1 gear as well for Navi, which is absolutely atrocious at this level of the game and speaks volumes to the economy at the start. Sharing a town is not doing anyone favours for Navi or Liquid, unfortunately, late game.
And look at the ground they had to cover. They have NIP to the north and Vitality to the south. It's really hard territory for them, but Brexico may well have just leveled things out a bit. He gets himself quick one down there. Meanwhile, FaZe Clan, how did they just land the shot onto Navi? That's miles away. They're way in the distance. Vitality should have had that in the bag, but no, FaZe steal another one away. They had a poor game one and looking to try and even things out. While it's still happening, by the way, Pittsburgh Knights, they've been sat in that warehouse in the north, completely unimpeded with the Kar 98s popping off.
This kind of feels like the standard setup that we've seen for quite some time from the Pittsburgh Knights. They're not necessarily a passive team, but they're a late game team. They like to chill for a little bit, get a decent compound.
MBS!
Really good at finding themselves on the map, and it seems they're doing it so now. Even without Sexus, NBS though, as you say, 2 of them gone down, as simple like that. NBS, he will follow through, at least claim this for himself so they can continue forward. They do have the circle towards the Pittsburgh Knights. I say they do have the circle, it's kind of gone their way as in they're keeping inside it at least. Textbooks play, they will keep themselves alive and then rear their heads at the late game.
Well, that circle continues to give the Pittsburgh Knights that compound, but we should also talk about NC's compound and Samty. Samty, you remember the pressure that was on Team Liquid? They lost the 2 in the vehicle. Samty left alone. He's still got that shack. He's in a prime spot right now to take easily a top 4 spot. The circle doesn't move away from him.
Lee, this could be incredible because Fuzzface is giving all this information. If one of them can get some kind of angle or flank, this could be yeah, this could be interesting because if he's given this information, if one of them actually manages to pressure up on the other side of it,
look at the tracer fire.
They're just going to go for it.
That's all the Pittsburgh Knights. So while FaZe and Vitality are trying to pop off of one another, that's a great little circle. Monkey gets around, gets himself 2 down. Uber gets another. He gets dropped. Jazza replies. It's pretty much a 1-for-1 right now between the 2 teams. And FaZe Clan in all sorts of trouble. Jazza. Who do they have left standing? I think it's just Mexi. Mexi's the only one. The Blues on the back. Jazza tries to get away. He goes down, and Vitality go out in 8th place. But FaZe are left with 1 standing. That was 2 4-man teams wiping each other out.
And it all came down to the fact that Monkey just sat there waiting for FaZe to make a move.
He's going for the same shack.
Literally kind of like a trip mine. As soon as they came forward, he then reared his head. They're still trying to nade out Samty because they know he's there. Mexi, he's got to step away from that vehicle. A few more bullets, unfortunately, will be going up in a ball of smoke. The Wanderer goes down, so M19, they go out. It might be a lucky... Oh, that's from Samty. Still trying to get a kill, even as a one-man band. It shows you how vital these points are, Lee. Even a situation where normally in older games of PUBG, you'd sit in a shack, just kind of put your head between your legs and pray for placement. Even now, look for the extra kill. Look
for that top 5 finish. Well, it may well come his way. Trifoli just keeping the Jokers out the circle as the Blues now on their backs. The Pittsburgh Knights, the only team standing with 4 men to the good. The tab goes down and dusted. Senya's going to be following him in just a moment as he tries to come out of the smoke. You can see Trifoli lighting him up. The Pittsburgh Knights are going to be looking to try and steal this one away as well as they can. It's going to be Reels, the new man, trying to lay the shots down. Voxic will get it. And Pittsburgh Knights nick another. So, Circle about to update. Will it go the Pittsburgh Knights' way? Will they keep 4 alive in the warehouse and let everybody come up the hill to them? Or will they be forced to start tracking down that hill? ENCE, of course, sitting in their compound on the east side of your map, and MBS way out west on the edge of the circle.
Look at the range again.
He got Mexi. He caught him.
Oh, he literally just planted him between the eyes.
They've got to move. They've got to move. Okay, so how much smokes? Now, Pittsburgh Knights have kind of been sat here the entire time, right? They took that northern route. They came around the beach just like FaZe did. They chose to stay up in the north, stay in the compounds, while FaZe went west. So Pittsburgh Knights, they've not really been involved and had to use too much utility.
So, again, this is kind of like an old situational game where you played for placement. The Knights are playing that old style where they'll turn up to the late game with
5 smokes.
All 4 players still alive.
Why is he driving?
They do at least have 5 kills, so they're not completely sitting back and doing nothing whatsoever. Got to be careful of these shacks because the wooden ones can be destroyed now, but he's got these barrels that he can play off the back of, potentially even use the vehicle as some sort of hard cover. So it's a decent little place, but he needs to be aware of these 2 individual players.
Got it.
Bullet comes his way, unfortunately. Pushing back for now, but the rest of his teammates, they can transition off the back of that.
He's got 5 smokes. Lay a path. Give cover for your team.
I mean, they've got to be fair. When there's only 2 players down at the bottom, they've got 4 up. They can all do that. They'll build a wall themselves of these vehicles, and now they're inside the circle because you would suspect when you look at the opposing side of the little compound that they're in.
MBS is sending it. It's going to Samty's shack. He's going to Samty's shack. You can see ENCE, they want to get a look on this one, but it's Samty going in. The nade cooked on towards MBS. Good night. Team Liquid, though, they managed to salvage 4th place out of that as Samty gets himself another. It's incredible.
He must have lowballed that out of the window.
Yeah.
Just lowballed it over. But
as soon as he drove in, he was cooking it, boom, pop the window.
Going back to ENCE, you would suspect, obviously, that they now have to come out because that blue is so close to that compound. In theory, the Knights, they have a better position because they're further in. He had literally like, well, I'm just going to sit here and die because there's nothing I can do about that one. Banks it off the side. Perfectly cooked. Samu very aware. The Knights are in the best position.
Yep.
Everyone else has to kind of come for them. And when they've got 2 minis and 2 K9s, you're shooting fish in a barrel at this point. Samty again playing for placement, but still bagging a few kills along the way. Fair play to the lad. It only takes 1 bullet for one of these boys to pretty much do the nail in the coffin and send ENCE out in 3rd. Samty will be allowed to play for 2nd.
I've lost count the amount of times I've seen these circles that finishes in this exact same spot. It is the same spot, and all these teams well aware of it. And obviously the Knights, they have themselves the wooden shack. While it doesn't offer too much protection, it gives you cover until you need it. And now, of course, ENCE and Team Liquid both need to leave their compounds and lay down as much cover while you can see the cars all ready to go for the Pittsburgh Knights as soon as they make the move. Samty, it doesn't matter whether he finishes 3rd or not. That is a great performance. They left Pachinki without a vehicle. They've ran the entire way. They finally found a vehicle, blasted it in, got to the shack, stayed safe. And he's actually protected himself in that shack. He took a couple of fights. You know, they throw nades towards Mexi. Obviously just popped the nade on MBS there. I think he got another one on the way in. So he's done good work here for Team Liquid.
He's definitely scraped the bottom of the barrel and pretty much done exactly the best that he could have done, to be honest with you. You can't ask for no more from the lad. Smokes, nades, fire, whatever, just to try and claw his way. I mean, he's still got a few smokes, and he'll obviously be able to clean up dead bodies that he's had there. If he can get a pick onto...
They're firing at ENCE. He's going to use this as a chance to move. He's sneaking in ENCE. And actually, look at the coverage. Look at the coverage has from Reels' position there.
Oh, here we go.
He just got caught by the head, though. Squeaky is the man that caught him. He had the prime position. Pittsburgh Knights weren't able to get the shots on him, but Squeaky still manages to get a shot off at the end. It will be the Pittsburgh Knights that will take themselves an easy win in the end. They just sat in their warehouse, and that's really all they needed to do. They got themselves, I think, 7 kills by the end of the game there. Not a bad performance for the Pittsburgh Knights to collect themselves, what, a 10, 17-point kill game? Not bad.
Slow and steady wins the race, but we are in a different time. It's a different stage, a different day, and this is where points are completely changed using the super rules. But I want to go back to possibly the most PUBG thing in the entire world. 21 kills, 1st place, 16th, nothing. TSM.
Yeah.
What an absolute literally,
rags to riches.
It's literally
Riches to
PUBG.
rags.
It's just PUBG in a nutshell, where anything
Yeah.
can
Circle pops here for the PUBG Pro League. It is time, ladies and gentlemen. All right, talk to me about the drops quickly here before we get into things. First map on Erangel.
All right, we got a pretty decent plane here coming in from the southwest, going up to the northeast. This means that most of the teams will be able to reach where they want to go, but we have some teams that will be dropping in over by Georgia Pole. They're going to need to find some vehicle because they're not going to be reaching all the way over there.
Absolutely not here. We have also in Pochinki, we see Team Liquid and Navi. They're going to be fighting it out to begin with. As we talked about, there are going to be some contesting. TSM is going to go into Milta as well. We're going to see a lot of people around Primorsk as well. So I think we're going to see a lot of fights coming in from the start.
I think what's important to note here, again, this is going to be very much so a good potential for the teams to feel each other out, see where they're going in terms of games that matter more so than just scrims alone.
First game, I mean, it's going to be all exciting. And as you said, we're going to have some clashes. Looking down at Primorsk, as mentioned, there's a few teams. But look at that first circle. There's so much water in it.
Well, gentlemen, thank you very much. It's time to head over to our commentary team. The Sims and the D-Man are going to bring you all the action.
Yes, thank you very much, guys. And well, we are straight into it. We wanted to hit these storylines as quickly as we can. And you can see it right now. This is not just a battle for Pochinki, Rich. This is a battle to lay the foundations for an entire season, maybe even beyond that.
I mean, you know, the old saying is you start as you mean to go. If you want to put a foothold on the map, now's the time to do it. In a town like Yasnaya, or a city like Yasnaya, should I say, something like that, you can get a little bit scrappy. You can even force teams in there and they've got enough loot. But with something like Pochinki, I'm sorry, but you cannot have two teams fighting it out throughout this entire Pro League. And already we have two of Europe's best, NAVI and Team Liquid, two invited teams, I'll have you know. These guys haven't qualified to get here. They got invited because of just their pure excellence so far in PUBG esports. We've said for a while, they could be arguing the toss over Pochinki, and lo and behold, Lee, neither team is backing down.
And we've spoken to them. We've spoken to the coaches. We've spoken to the players. And neither of these teams want to back away from Pochinki. They're like, no, this is ours. We're not backing out of it.
So if you want to talk about an initial pick, it could be coming through now. 3 players going for the initial rush.
Oh,
We got Rick Current. He's actually going to probably just lob it out there and hope for the best. That thing's going to be cooked. Down on the floor he goes. Grenades actually rolled out. That will seal the deal. So the initial kill goes the way of Team Liquid. It's not over until it's over, but being so split like that, you may have thought potentially would have fallen back to, you know, his players on the opposing side. Team Liquid, they take the first scalp in this game. That's a point going there where NAVI looks like they're on the back foot. They'll be making their way potentially up to that church area.
Yeah, and ordinarily when you do see teams, you know, even sharing a city, which you can do, is say in Yasnaya, George Paul, etc. They're big cities. But you normally go east-west or something like that. But clearly you dropped well amongst each other. There's a lot of teams obviously playing and a lot of positions that need to be given to you guys. And I know you guys are going to be hungry for information. I can tell you, obviously, with the playing path being as deep southeast as it was, there has been changes. So, for example, NIP, they've had to adjust as well. You know, would be up in South Georgia Pole. They've had to change. You can see them over on the West Coast kind of thing at the moment. Same with Red Diamonds. They'd also be South Georgia Pole. These two teams that we expected to kind of fight for it in South Georgia Pole, but because it was such a severe playing path and a severe circle, this is a harsh circle for game one.
I mean, yeah, look, we might as well put it out there. It's absolutely terrible. It's literally a quarter of the circle. Nobody, in theory, will be looting over a Sosnovka. And I mean, there's no point in going to Nova right now. It's kind of too late in the game, and you do have to cross that bridge. There's no way that circle moves towards Sosnovka Island. It's going to keep on the main head of Erangel. So you've got to be getting a foothold now. Obviously, when we look across that, it's kind of the Pittsburgh Knights are in the best position at the moment.
Look at Navi's path. They have come out. Okay, they're going to go for the compound. I was going to say, that was a risky route they were taking. Obviously, they've rotated out of Pachinki. They're all in one vehicle, all three of them in one vehicle. They're going for the compound south of school now. Because if they'd have gone that route, well, A, they would have been bumping into Digital Athletics and Vitali, Team Vitality, who are both in that sort of same situation, but now they're rotating. Now it's starting to get a little fairer. But Vitality have got 4 people in one vehicle. This is madness.
Navi have opted to go for the poor man's Pachinki, I want to call it now. Just as a theory here, this speaks a volume of a bigger game, saying that we've actually got battles going down. FAZE have run into early game TSM here, 2 powerhouse organizations already kicking the living hell out of each other.
Why have they gone for this compound? Why have TSM tried to push for it? I don't know. Mexi has been taken down, and Wookie Bookie will get Gustav back on his feet. Rory again, Michael up. And we were talking to these guys. Obviously, TSM, they're dropping Milton now. Obviously, FaZe are over in Milton Power, and yes, the circle fits it well. And it looks like what they've done is basically tried to both get the same compound, because that is pretty much the central point right now.
The Monkey compound, as it has now kind of found its name, obviously we see Monkey playing this quite an awful lot, it's a pivotal anchor point for this circle. You know, that's where a lot of, you've got the level 3 building there. It's going to give you a lot of a line of sight. You can look at the people coming downhill, because a lot of people will be playing downhill from that lumber mill area. But now as we're looking at the map, we can see we have 3 teams potentially that are about to crash into. This zone is going to murder people for the simple fact it will push everybody together. We only have about 500, maybe 600 meters of land. There is nothing. This is a complete smash and grab.
And we're seeing the M19 going past there. That's the Pittsburgh Knights. Obviously, they tend to go around Mansion and Prison Wall and etc. It looks like they've basically set up their stall here. You can see on the wall a spot we've seen FaZe setting up many times.
Like this.
And it's clever because they're catching the teams coming down north. And we should talk about, obviously, the point system. You know, it's 10 points for a win, 6 points. But it's 1 point per kill. And suddenly that 1 point is worth so much just to get that single kill.
You wipe out and what? 5th place instantly?
Yeah.
Just like that?
Bam, 4 points on the board, 5th place minimum. Yeah.
Martin alluded to it slightly on the desk. Hey, I like this rotation as well. This is different from Raise Your Edge. This is a safety position. I like this. It's kind of like a counter rotate. So they'll opt now to go onto Sosnovka Island, knowing that people won't actually be there. The rest of Raise Your Edge will go underneath. They'll try and find a vehicle. If not, they'll at least get picked up. That's kind of a double-ended sword, because that's allowed the rest of the team to go across the vehicles. They're the safety in numbers, so to speak. If there was anyone there waiting for the bridge camp, they would have been taken out. And the vehicles now Cup of Magic can collect his teammates, take him for the vehicle up top. I like the play. It's safe. It's secure. The question is now, Lee, once they get to the opposing side on the bridge, what happens there? Does someone lock them down on the opposing side? We can see they can't. G2 have already set themselves up on the opposing side of the bridge. When they get to that crossroads, okay, it's safe now. You're happy. But are you? You've also got red diamonds here. Again, we can see this on the map, but that might be a dagger in the back for them.
And it's an interesting point because obviously these players have had a couple of scrims, so everybody kind of knows where everyone's at. Everyone's had a good feeler for it. It's the downside, obviously, with the scrims is you guys don't quite get to see it at home, but we do try and gather as much information. I can tell you, Red Diamonds are doing exactly the same as Raise Your Edge.
I see how this fight goes under because Reds and Raise Your Edge could meet each other really, really soon. They both come for the same rotation here. They might actually clash heads on the beachhead. If they cop Raise Your Edge now, looking for boats along the beachhead, they could pretty much wipe them out first game here.
Yeah, and they're going to be so cautious going over that East Bridge because they know, as you say, they're well aware of TSM and G2 starting in Milton Farm. They've already been fighting over that point. It's actually been in Sosnovka because you can't go over the East Bridge because these two teams. You can't go over the West Bridge because Joker's around Ferry Pier and Bridge. So it's almost a null point of the map. Sosnovka is literally... But there are two teams. And everybody's crossing. You see that circle. Now, Vitality goal, and everybody's already on the road to capital. You can see G2 already moved.
Vitality up in the lumber mill. They've got a really good spot here. They can be. Everyone else kind of tries to find their feet below them and get any kind of pivotal position that might catch people on the rotation. You'll see many teams just going forward. Unfortunately, G2 came to run over his teammate Brexico. So that will slow them down for now. I'll have to get the res off as soon as he can. Digital Athletics though, little mini on the backside. He will be able to at least kind of get some up shots in. And that's kind of what you want to do because this is such an enclosed circle. Let off as many shots as possible to warn to stay away. Don't bother breaching this compound. It's all right if they come in. You're going to pick up a kill, but you also might lose a player in that transition of that initial fight. What's the point in giving up bodies early game for the sake of 1 point? It's a numbers game. You have to play. Is it worth going for the fight? Is it kind of losing what we would during that engagement? You have to wear that up, and this is where you look to your IGL now and make these cautious and really disciplined decisions. This next rotation is going to be, to be honest with you, it's going to be a nightmare. There isn't that much territory, really. You're going to be looking in open, more importantly. And again, this is where playing the game and knowing the map's so important. Might just get away from that one.
Pro crowds, a lot of damage on set there.
Matrix here.
Dodging, weaving, ducking, diving. They've actually been forced to go north. Now, NAVI, of course, one man down from early on. Are playing edge at the moment, way the northwest side of the circle. NIP from the western side as well in towards where Team is a TSM who pretty much decided to set the stall out early in that monkey compound, and also Pittsburgh, which they used to have the tag as, they're now known as PK in there. They are still sitting 2-2 on the prison wall and yellows. Digital Athletics are going to get the smoke down. A beautiful death will not be going down early. Iro will get him back on his feet.
Moving left and right, Ira sacrificed himself. At least take a bullet or two so they can get the res off again, it's so important to keep 4 players alive going into these final circles. We're only in circle 2 right now, and all by just forcing people into a bit of a... It's kind of one of those where you look at the saving grace of this circle is that it was in line with the playing path. A lot of people have already kind of gone this direction anyway. Red Diamond's now finally forced to play.
I like the approach. They're doing a step-by-step, by like slowly scouting it, moving over that. I mean, they obviously caught a glimpse of Raise Your Edge coming over the bridge first, so they're really taking it scary. This is what I want to talk about FaZe Clan. They have not really collected many vehicles because they haven't really gone anywhere. They've been in and around Mill to Power. I mean, but they're kind of in a horrible wedge between M19 and TSM. They can't make that run. That run up the hill is horrible. Like M19 would pick them off, and TSM could pick them off if they got there. They're in a rookie
compound, as we like to call it. TSM committed to it. FaZe, all the teams went in. It looks like TSM kind of came out on top. They clicked. I mean, FaZe to lose 2 players straight away just is absolutely devastating. As you mentioned, they've now got to run the gauntlet. This could be extremely dangerous. Keep an eye on that kill feed. There's only FaZe and 8C alive. And getting into this circle for them is going to be an absolute nightmare.
And it's almost been given a false sense because in scrims, TSM allowed them to have monkey compound. So we're not pushing that far over. The headshot lands on FaZe, just about getting away with it. Meanwhile, MBS has been picked off for NIP as Team Liquid and NIP clash up in the north, but FaZe has to get that med off pretty quick. Looking for him, M19 are getting away with it. Still got himself his vehicle there as well, so he's had to literally ditch it as he could there. Around the north, of course, with this northern FaZe 3 centering on the prison. It's caused a lot of teams to get all the teams that were down south as big your edge, try and get the hell out of there. They're taking a deep south swing around the Mill to Power area, and they're going to start running into the edges of TSM, who are still yet to mobilize, by the way. They're playing it late on edge.
I think we can kind of write FaZe off now. He's playing pretty much edge circle. He's down in a ditch. M19 do have his numbers. He creeps out there. Now, this is the thing. It's the banker himself, the backup plan. Absolutely bailed it. He runs straight through the Knights, hit the deck. I'll tell you what he is. He's smack banging in prison. He is bombed it off. He is. He hit the cliffs. Backup plan now. He's dead center of this circle. If it goes his way, literally just play for the numbers game because they can't take fights. 2 people are there. You're doing one individual battles. It's going to be a hard time. It's simple as that. What will be a hard time is this next circle shift. If it goes central, all the teams that are pretty much looted all the way around prison, because where we saw Vitality set up earlier on, they're causing other teams to set back.
That Jokers are setting themselves up here on the edge, but they're coming into a hail of bullets. It's G2 have themselves a 2-2 position on the hillside here. Jokers cannot come in this way, and if they keep on north, to sit in the compound further up. If they continue past that, they're going straight to Team Liquid. They've kind of hit gatekept. The blue is on their backs right now, so they've got to get back in those cars and get moving early and figure out, do we carry on north? It looks like they're going to go for a northwest swing here. I don't think this is going to work for them. This could hurt. You can see Kemba actually already having to hit that dash here. D-Mash is going to be the first man, but G2 are lighting Athletics will spot them
see how we go from this one. You can already see in the kill feed. Oh, Jokers, a fight from two different sides. G2 and Digital letting players on sides down two-man backgrounds. They go. Circle does a depends. As you can see, he's in the first compound. Is Tab going to go for this one?
No, you can't. He's out in the blue.
Yeah, I wouldn't bother if I'm honest to just go for it. Michael, though, TSM. And again, Red Diamonds, Hello Senpai knocks himself. Ping goes down as well. Transition, unfortunately, they're going to be hurting.
Oh, look. Looking at Aduzi. Aduzi's down low on health, and he's going straight into Raise Your Edge. We might see the first team going down here. Red Diamonds, Aduzi gets himself tucked in. The man that came in, of course, tried to replace them as much as he can. Hello Senpai down. Snark wanted, picks him off, and Red Diamonds, who did so well throughout GLL and the qualifiers in Minsk, will be the first team down. The Tab may well be the second, as he's a solo man for the job.
If you ever look at the player that actually killed it at the end, it was Raise Your Edge. So Raise Your Edge have constantly been in front of them. They even did the same rotation by just getting, staying ahead of them, keeping on foot. Unfortunately, they followed them and they've run into their trap, so they're out of this one. TSM are also on foot, but Raise Your Edge and TSM, both sides of just to the right of the mill. G2 on the left-hand side. Everyone's gone on foot now because you come into this terrain where it's very rocky, very hilly. There's no point in taking the cars. There's a hell of a lot of trees. Unless you're on the northern edge. The northern edge, you can still use the vehicles, but down south, it's going to be a bloodbath on foot.
Looks like it's... Who's it? Crowd. Crowd have sent it. They've been bumping into Ents the whole way. Squeaky manages to find himself one.
Nice shot.
Gets Magistrate for you down.
Should be
and
two.
Suddenly this is looking disastrous. Now they do still have Alf plays out wide. Set gets picked off by Fuzzface of all people, who's coming in slowly. There as Dream does go down, that kill away from Ents, and it leaves Alf plays on the north. Meanwhile, let me pick for you what is going on. G2, they're moving in from the south, so moved into Lumber Mill area. Raise Your Edge also creeping on M19. In the prison area, NAVI, who lost the man very early on. Right now, they have themselves the Harry Potter, and they can gatekeep Team Liquid, who are fighting right here.
This is the one that we need. Liquid have smelt blood. They know the Windstrike guys are on the back foot here, so they're going for the push. But Windstrike, they're getting shot from multiple angles. Jeems up and over. Initially, I like this play. They've done the damage. Okay, they're down. They're not out, but we can move into the circle, reposition, get a better... Because Navi are tanking them up. Why stay out in the blue and take damage? Why not get to a better position? That's exactly what they're doing. The IGLs come through there, leave them out in the blue. Once they come through that circle again, they're going to be so tanked up, it should be an easy kill for them. So set up, play border control, get ahead of the game. I like the play. Don't overcommit and don't get over-aggressive, because then you get down. He's probably going to go down. He's got the smoke there.
Crowd go down. Voxic finds the last man. Alf plays out. Pittsburgh Knights playing on the hillside. And now Windstrike will follow. It is hard times for some of the teams that qualified through Minsk here. They are running into the very best of Europe, and they are certainly in sort of trouble. Push on with Vitality to their south, but Vitality is about to get very crowded. You saw the map there. You saw that area of basically woodland that is about to get very crowded. People are starting to really send it into the prison district, into those warehouses.
Ends are the main issue here for the Pittsburgh Knights because they're on those little compounds that can see up to where they are. But the one thing that the Pittsburgh Knights have going for them, which I noticed at the start of the game, they do have 2 Kar 98s amongst them. So you can pretty much sit in these rocky areas, try and get a few picks, try and get a bit of damage. Fuzzface has gone down. Last man standing for FAZE is 80. But look at this battle that's going down. You call for it, Lee. One member of TSM last alive here. Raise your edge, taking on TSM on the hills.
Yep.
2 must be up. 1 is on the back foot. He's got a 24, so you have to be careful.
Look what's coming up behind him. So they were drawn into the fight. Behind TSM, the 2 members of M19, the rest of M19 were picked off. Right on top of TSM, who were mid-reviving. The grenades are going in. TSM are going to be bunched up. Oh, they've thrown them too far. They haven't cooked them right. They tossed them a little too far. The second one looks good, but it just bounced off. It's hit something and pinged out to the side, and TSM may just get away with this one. They're doing what they can. Meanwhile, back in the north, NAVI and Team Liquid are engaging. Nades are flying.
Nades over. Where's the picks? Where's the frags? The initial one. Jempty's in the damage line as well as he does fall. But hey, oh, he just backed off for a second. He saw him. Sniper was snapped to his head, but again, still more grenades coming back. Has to be back down for now, and that's absolutely fine. Jempty will probably lose his life in this engagement. Ibby does need to heal back up. One thing I will have to say about the previous one we saw, TSM, how the hell they've still got 4 alive? I have no idea.
It's such a tricky fight here. Team Liquid can't get up, they can't engage because Vitality are taking pot shots at them from the prison wall, so they can't go pushing for this one. It